Welcome to this morning Bhagavatam class from East Munich. Who said Zurich? Sorry. They end in the same way and they have another U together. Anyway, sorry. ISKCON Munich, Deutschland. So today we are studying Srimad Bhagavatam, 9th canto, chapter 6, text number 48. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So today we'll read a verse and a concept which is very important. Some of you have heard it many times, but it's always good. It's always good to remind ourselves of these fundamental principles, I would say, of life. I wouldn't even say spiritual life. I would just say life in this material world. So let's see, I'll just read the Sanskrit for you. Translation. In this way, Saubari Muni enjoyed sense gratification in the material world, but he was not at all satisfied. Just as fire never ceases blazing if constantly supplied with drops of fat. Purport by Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, founder Acharya of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. Okay, very important concepts. Material desire is just like a blazing fire. If a fire is continually supplied with drops of fat, the fire will increase more and more and never be extinguished. Therefore, the policy of trying to satisfy material desires by catering to one's material demands will never be successful. In modern civilization, everyone is engaged in economic development, which is another way of constantly dropping fat into the material fire. The Western countries have reached the summit of material civilization, but people are still dissatisfied. Real satisfaction is Krishna consciousness. This is confirmed in Bhagavad Gita 5.29, where Krishna says, quote, the sages, knowing me as the ultimate purpose of all sacrifices and austerities, the supreme Lord of all planets and demigods, and the benefactor and well-wisher of all living entities, attain peace from the pangs of material miseries. Unquote. One must therefore take to Krishna consciousness and advance in Krishna consciousness by properly following the regulative principles. Then one can attain an eternal, blissful life in peace and knowledge. So this is the uncompromising message of the Srimad Bhagavatam, which the Bhagavatam repeats again and again, even in the first canto. Kamasya nendriya pritir. One should not try for sense gratification, but only for self-maintenance, basic maintenance of the self, the body. Keep the soul in the body, keep the body healthy, keep the body warm, but do not overdo it. Why? Why? This is a natural tendency of everybody to do more and more and more. Why? Because jivasya tattva jigyasa, this world, this human life, jivasya tattva jigyasa, is meant for the inquiry into the truth. So there are two, we could say, opposite objectives. One is to inquire into the truth. And truth is beautiful, and truth is attractive, and truth is satisfying, and truth is fulfilling. It's exciting, stimulating, it's thrilling. Of course, people have no idea of the truth. Reality, the beautiful. Shri Krishna, the Supreme Personality of God. Because people don't know about the truth, nowadays, speaking about the truth is almost become, people feel almost offended when you say the truth. They say, whoa, did you know the truth? You know the truth? It's almost impolite to talk about the truth, although the truth is the only goal of life. But people have become so cynical, so agnostic, so influenced by materialism, moral relativity, by ignorance, by a lack of direction, disorientation, that they say, no, you should not even use the word truth. It's too high. It's if you say truth, if people feel you are arrogant, you're conceited, you're proud. But no, Bhagavatam starts with that. No. Jivasya jag tattva jigyasa nartuyas chiha karma bihi. Our activities, our projects, our aspirations should not have any other objective. Animals, of course, they're simple. They are not so advanced. So for them, it's okay, what's the next? I need to fill the belly. I need to enjoy my reproductive tendencies. I need to find a place to sleep. I need to find a master. If they're dogs, I need to find a master. It takes care of me, like that. But that's for animals. Humans are not like that. So when Srila Prabhupada said this is not a religious movement, it's a spiritual movement for the re-spiritualization, it's a cultural movement. So let's start with this culture. Life is not for sense gratification. And let's go to the basis. Again and again, this concept is repeated. If we go to Bhagavad Gita, famous verse 5:21, you know what is that verse? Actually, it's 22. So, what does it say, this verse? It's the same thing in other words. This is Krishna himself speaking. Buddha, an intelligent person. In other words, is the same root as Buddha. Everybody knows Buddha. Technically in Sanskrit would be Buddha, the one who has been illuminated. But by Sandhi, it becomes Buddha. So Buddha means the one who has intelligence. Intelligence means has discrimination, has enough knowledge to know what is what. So Buddha, what he does, he doesn't take pleasure in the contact of the senses and the sense objects. We say, why? That's natural. There we have senses. There are sense objects all around. Form, taste, smell, touch, the sound, form, taste, sound, touch, and taste. Taste, yeah, form. That's form. Okay. But then one say, but look, we got senses, we got sense objects. They're almost made for each other. Yeah, but that's the problem. Why? Dukha yonaya. Because they are the womb. Very graphic word. Yonaya. Yoni, the womb of dukkha. It's like a womb of a mother is the place of development, gestation of a baby. So the sense gratification is the gestation place of dukkha, means pain, suffering, internal, external, meaning psychological suffering, physical suffering, all sorts of pain and discomfort. And also, Krishna is praying Adi Anta Vanta. Vanta means subject to. Adi Anta. They have a beginning and an end. Nobody can always be in sense gratification because the same object loses attraction. You might like, say, ice cream. And in itself, there is nothing wrong in ice cream if it's vegetarian, milk from protected cows. So we are not preaching against ice cream. But say you like ice cream. Okay, you take 1 cup, you feel happy. Okay, 2 cups because you really like it. And okay, 3 cups because you're also hungry, you got to fill up your belly. 4 cups, 5 cups, then you cannot enjoy anymore. It's the same tongue, it's the same ice cream, your favorite ice cream, very high quality, but you cannot enjoy anymore. So even if the object of the sense is there, you cannot enjoy it anymore. It loses taste. And what to speak of when the object of the sense is not there? Then people work very hard. It's like the famous image of the donkey with a carrot dangling in front of his nose. So the donkey sees the carrot and keeps walking. But as he walks, the carrot moves ahead because the rider keeps the carrot in front of the nose. So it's like always a desire for something that you never reach. So unless we absorb, unless we imbibe, assimilate, digest this, we will always be in anxiety. And sometimes devotees, even if they are good at sense control, because sometimes they're from a good family, they have incorporated in their culture, okay, no sense gratification, no sins. But sometimes there is a subtle sense gratification, distinction, position, influence, and there's that burning desire. I remember one devotee who had there was some scandal or it was under investigation for some misbehavior, okay? So then he was there was an astrologer or something, and he asked him, in front of our spiritual master, Jayapataka Maharaj, say, can I be famous? Openly. That was his desire. Can I become famous? Jayapataka Maharaj commented, he's already infamous. He's already infamous. And he's still trying to become famous. So sometimes what burns in the heart of devotees, even if they have some discrete sense control, is the thirst for fame. Likes on YouTube, likes on Facebook. It becomes like a drug. Envy. Oh, this person videos got so many views. has got only 13 views. And this has got 13,000. This other got 56,000. And this Facebook post by my friend, he got 358 like, and I posted one thing, I got 2 likes. So unless we have this internal, and sometimes, look, sometimes it's just the base. We need to go back to the basics. I heard sometime this opera singer, very famous, very well paid. Sometimes they have problems, and they say the training, they go back to the training. What's the back to the training? Learn again how to pronounce the Italian words, because opera is in Italian, generally. There are some opera in German, but okay, but traditionally opera is in Italian. So maybe the person has got 20, 25 years experience, but sometimes there's just something doesn't work. So they go back to express themselves in Italian. That's opera, right? You heard this? Yeah. Okay. Of course, for me, it's a little simpler because I was born in the country. But for somebody who say, it's not born, it needs practice. So go back to the basics. Sometimes we need to go back to the basic. Like Srila Prabhupada says, look, real satisfaction is Krishna consciousness. Now, we heard this millions of times. That's why we are here chanting Hare Krishna. We have, to some extent, we have incorporated this. Otherwise, we will not do what we do, our sadhana, our prayers, whatever. But real satisfaction is Krishna consciousness. And Krishna consciousness means we think of Krishna, appreciating Krishna, we absorb in Krishna's mission, we love the spiritual master, we love serving him or her, and that's our satisfaction. But sometimes we may be blurred. Yes, we know that, of course. I'm practicing 10 years, I'm practicing 20 years, I'm practicing 30 years, I'm practicing 40 years, I'm practicing 50 years. Of course I know. Yeah, but how much you enjoy? How much you enjoy your holy name? How much can you sit peacefully anywhere and just enjoy chanting japa? How much? If you cannot just sit down, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna. If you don't feel satisfied, nourished, rejuvenated, refreshed, then there's something wrong. Means your mind is here and there. May not even be in gross sense gratification. You may not do any sin, but there's something wrong. And then Srila Prabhupada says, look, this I like very much this sentence. One must therefore take to Krishna consciousness and advance in Krishna consciousness. Taking to Krishna consciousness is easy. How many people we have seen in this last almost 60 years of ISKCON taking to Krishna consciousness? Especially here in Europe, we have seen so many. We have seen booming at the time of Srila Prabhupada, even at the time of the next gurus. We have seen so many people taking to Krishna consciousness. Thousands, big festivals, big book distribution, many new bhaktas, bhaktins, freshly shaved, with the saris, the dhotis, and going and being very enthusiastic. Literally thousands. If you see all Europe, you can go Germany, Switzerland, Austria, Italy, Spain, Portugal, everywhere. How many people took to Krishna consciousness? But of them, many of them, they did not advance in Krishna consciousness, or at least they did not advance enough. So this sentence is key. One must therefore take to Krishna consciousness and advance in Krishna consciousness. Otherwise, we take to Krishna consciousness, we can also give up. And sometimes it's not a drastic giving up. It's not saying, no, I don't believe in the Bhagavad anymore. No, I don't chant Hare Krishna anymore. No, it's not like drastic. It's more a slide. One starts not chanting his rounds, or one starts chanting very badly because one gets up late, then he chants in the car, then he chants here and there. There is no taste because there's no focus, there's no taste. You don't get the connection with the holy name, and the holy name saying, what are you doing? Are you doing 32 things? No, are you doing 32 things, or are you giving attention to the 32 syllables? So the holy name also kind of retracts his presence. Then, okay, eat a little boga here and there. Shri Vishnu, Yeah, but Shri Vishnu, that's not the way, I mean, slowly. Then then we live outside the association of devotees. Then we start fighting with devotees, because sometimes I mean, let's be honest. Sometimes being in touch with devotees is sometimes stressful, either because they are not so good or because they are very good. If they are not so good, they're in Prajalpa and they are criticizing, you go there and they think, this guy, that guy, this mother. Or if they are very good, they can be stressful because they push us. Let's go to let's go to So sometimes the association of devotees is stressful, both weak devotees and very strong devotees. So we need to be. So many people took Krishna consciousness. Of course, we know that nothing is lost. Whoever did say Sankirtan or anything in Germany or anywhere, obviously it's a great credit. Sometimes they may even go back home back to God. Krishna might just say, okay. But right now, where they are. So we see this famous Saubhari Muni, and this whole chapter is called The Downfall of Saubhari Muni. And he was not just having little sense gratification here and there. Look, he had opulent home, not a little apartment with the neighbors smoking. He had garments. Imagine garments and beautiful silk garments, turbans. When you put them on the skin, it's so pleasant. Just the garment gives you pleasure. Just the garment, flowing garments, fresh ornaments. Well, we don't use generally ornaments. A little bit women, but they had the bangles, triangles, properly dressed and decorated maid servants and men servants. Nowadays, who has maid servants and maid servants? And properly decorated, so they are like uniform. They even look like little princes. And these are the maids and the maid servants. Then, this I'm reading from the previous couple of verses. In the gardens, fragrant with varieties of flowers. Here, unfortunately, even in the temple, we don't see many flowers. Today, we offer one little flower to Srila Prabhupada. There's nothing to go around, and the type flowers are so costly. And even the flowers were costly, they don't have any smell. But they have fragrant with variety of flowers, birds chirped, and bees. So birds, bees means a lot of honey also, surrounded by professional singers. Imagine, we have music because we have our phone and YouTube and stuff, but they have professional singers sitting there with all this elaborate musical instrument, Chennai, singers, very, very beautiful. And there was valuable beds, but not just beds, were valuable. Maybe made both ivory, mahogany. What do you call mahogany? Not some like, what do you call it? Not some, what do you call it? Not plywood, that you jump on it breaks. Seats, ornaments, more ornaments, arrangement for bathing. So imagine there was swimming pools, different variety with lotus flowers. Sandalwood creams. Now, sandalwood cream is very costly. They could put sandalwood creams, flower garlands, palatable dishes. Imagine all the most opulent dishes you can imagine. There were cooks, expert cooks. Thus, surrounded by opulent paraphernalia, the Muni engaged in family affairs with numerous wives. Mandata, the king of the entire world, consisting of 7 islands, was struck with wonder when he saw the household opulence of Saubhari Muni. Thus he gave up his false prestige in his position as emperor of the world. Now, Mandata. This Mandata is a big-time emperor of the world. Even Ravana was afraid of Mandata. As far as I know, he was only defeated by Lavanasura. Lavanasura was ruling in Mathura. It was very, very powerful. He had the trident given by Shiva. When he had this trident, nobody could defeat it. So Mandata, remember, Mandata was even of great fear in the heart of Ravana. But Mandata was defeated by Lavanasura. And Lavanasura was defeated by, quiz, who knows who defeated Lavanasura? Shatrughna sometimes is Sudarshan Chakra himself. Srila Prabhupada explains both in the 5th canto and in the Chaitanya Charitamrita that Lord Ram, Lakshman, Bharat, and Shatrughna, sometimes they are Narayana, Shesha, Shankha, Chakra, and Shatrughna is Chakra. Sudarshan Chakra, whom are we going to worship today in Nuremberg? Krishna willing, we get there. And sometime there are Vasudeva, Sankarshan, Pradyumna, and Aniruddha. So even Mandata, he was the emperor of the world. He was struck with wonder to see how much Saubhari Muni. So look, you cannot, or maybe you can, but I can't probably imagine a sense gratification more intense, vast than Saubhari Muni. Just no. What else can you have? You have everything. You have everything. And without problems, without taxations, without any problem. Even then, Saubhari Muni was not satisfied. Not at all satisfied. Why? Because the self can never be satisfied with the experiences of the body. Because we are not the body. So the body can go through so many experiences. The senses can connect to so many objects. But we are not the body. We are not the senses. We are something else. And that something else, the jiva bhuta needs something else. That's Krishna. Otherwise, a very famous analogy is, it is a fish out of water. So Saubhari Muni, he has this problem with fish. He had problem with fish, but we are all fish out of water. Because the jiva and prakriti are incompatible. They're two different energies. So you can try to mix and match anything in the prakriti, but the soul remains dissatisfied. And when the soul remains dissatisfied, sometimes they slide down from passion to ignorance. They don't have any more energy. Like nowadays, many people are depressed. Many people, they're not even interested in sense gratification anymore. There is something in Japan, which is starting also in Europe. I don't remember what's called. We can Google it. There are young people who just lock themselves inside the room and they never go out. It's not just one. There are many, many, many. So they don't even want to date anymore. They don't want to go for sports anymore. They don't like to play football or any tennis or anything. It's called hikikomori. So they're starting. Just see hikikomori in Europe. And they're starting because people from Rajaguna, they go to Tamaguna. Rajaguna, at least people have stimulus. Okay, let's get a... In Europe, the term I'm reading, hikikomori, is increasingly recognized by mental health professionals, although it's still considered Japanese origin concept. However, similar behavior, long-term social withdrawal, staying at home, avoiding work and school, minimal social interaction do exist in Europe, and awareness is growing. In other words, these people, poor people, they don't even have the desire to become anything in this world. They don't want to study. They don't want to work. Maybe they're lucky, quote unquote, that there are some parents with money. They have a little house. They have a little room. They have internet connection. That's all they do. They come out of the room. They eat some junk food, maybe bread and peanut butter, something like that. And then they go back to the room to sleep and watch internet. They live in a complete different. They don't even try anymore to be happy in this world. So from Rajas comes to Tamas. And in Krishna consciousness, we have to face these gunas, we have to face this world. Therefore, we need to be together. Just like this class. I wasn't expecting to give this class, but I was giving this class, I was giving this seva, and now for half an hour or an hour, I'm talking about these things. It reminds me about this thing. Same concept. Look, pigs have sense gratification. Dogs, in fact, for them, it's even more available. They don't need to dress. They don't need to work. They just go around, find a mate, and that's it. No complication. But once you get this body, nayam deha deho bhajan triloke, in this world of man, then tapo divyam, do transcendent austerity. Not just any austerity. People do austerity. They go by train half an hour in the morning, half an hour in the evening, maybe more. They go in the doing a work that they hate, with bosses that they hate. So people do austerity, but this is tapo divyam. Putraka, oh my dear sons, sattva. And then what happens? Shuddhi dyasmat. Through that purification, Brahma Sokyam Tvanantam. Brahma Sokyam, spiritual sukha. And unfortunately, these impersonalists are killed Indian civilization. When you say Brahman, people think something abstract, amorphous, boring, unlimitedly boring, absolutely boring. Who wants Brahman? If you say, do they want some Brahman? I better go and see some Bollywood movie. At least there is some dancing and something, some rasa, right? There is some hero, some villain, some girl. Who wants Brahman? They kill Indian civilization, these Mayavadis. So this meaning, so Brahma Sokyam Tvananta. So we read the Bhagavad Gita, I-22, it was saying, Anta Vanta. There is a beginning and an end, but here is Brahma Shokem to Ananta. There is no end. There's no end. But it's not that kind of quote unquote boring happiness of just impersonalism, but it's full of life. In fact, before that verse in Bhagavad Gita, and then I'll open for question to the devotees who are online or devotees who are in this temple room, and I'll open for question or comments. But remember, this 5:22, then the previous verse says the same thing, what Rishabhadeva says. Bhayaspashishva shaktatma asaktatma, one who is not attached to bhaya spasheshu, external sense connection, touching, literally one who is not attached to touching stuff, and by extension looking, hearing, like that. Bhaya spasheshu ashaktatma vindati atmaniyat sukham, again the same word, vindati, achieves pleasure in the self. Sa Brahma Yoga Yuktatma. Now, here Krishna is, this is the 5th chapter, so Krishna is still very little indirect. So he say Brahma Yoga, doesn't say Bhakti Yoga, it doesn't say connects with me. We know that, but right now he's saying Brahma Yoga. Again, Sukham, Akshayam Ashnute. Akshaya means unlimited, something that doesn't, it's also in Hindi, no? Means something that doesn't decrease. Sukham Akshayam Ashnute. So, look, this is a choice. Adyantavanta, some little pleasure here and there, position or touching here, touching there, which creates dukkha, or sukha akshayam ashnute. This is our choice. This is our work. For some of us, it's a long way, but there is no other way. So now if anybody has a question or comment, reflection, it's a time to express yourself freely. Huh? I have only 4 here. This is 4 others. Oh, okay. Oh, we have Dana Kelly, Mataji, online. We have also Rajat. Rajat, well, today, oh, another Rajat. We have Anai. We have Gomti. Gomti Mataji. So anybody has any reflection or question? Otherwise, we can finish here. We have a question here. Uddhava Prabhu.
What it means in practical terms to advance in Krishna? How to understand I am not stagnant, I am advancing?
Well, in one sense, it's simple. I like material life less and less. I like Krishna and Krishna consciousness and activity more and more. That's the simple answer. Advancing, see, advancing is a, we could say, topographical expression, right? From one point, you go to another point. We come from a certain point, and then we advance almost physically, we move forward. We move forward to a different state. The different state is that, for instance, we are much more not attached to material life, means also not only sense gratification, no, but sometimes we become free from, especially Indians, this is my observation with all respect, but Indians are very influenced by parents. And sometimes parents are non-devotees. They don't know the Jivasya Tattva Jigyasa. They are very simple ideas of what's success in life. So advancing also becomes, okay, we become free, meaning even the parents talk, blah, 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 do this, do that. Narada Muni says, when materialistic relatives say, no, you should do this, you should work more, you should do this, you should do that. The Narada Muni says, you should say, yes, you're right. This is a very wise advice. But then don't do any of that. Just keep them, keep them calm. Now, don't argue. No, no, just, yes, you're right. You're right. You're right, Pitaji, Mamaji, whatever, all the range of unlimited relatives. Yes, you're right. But then when they go, then after 1 year, they come back. No, you shouldn't. You're right, actually. This is very wise advice. And then you don't do it. But so it's not just free from sin, but it's free from that mental, psychological dependence on people who are not Krishna consciousness. And become the guru becomes more and more and more important. Becomes a meditation, not what the neighbors would think, not what my mother would think, not what what my guru would think if I do this. So you shift. Who are you trying to please? Who is your reference point? And advance means, so from what that's vairagya, the aspect of detachment. And the other aspect, you become more and more attached to devotional service, like Dana Kelly Mataji. You become joyful. You become joyful because you become detached from thinking you are the body, that you have to look in a certain way, and so on and so forth. And you start liking Krishna more and more. Krishna, his holy name, his devotional service on the altar. You like to dress, you like to decorate. Instead of spending so much time decorating ourselves, we decorate the deities. We shift. Not how I look, let me see, what cream, what sandalwood cream can I put? No, what earrings, what earrings can we put on Gornitai? Tama Krishna Maharaj wrote in the Servant of the Servant book, fantastic book, fantastic book. He said that when he was married for a short time, once he went to Calcutta in a market. No, Calcutta is from America. Imagine the Calcutta market, the chaos there. And then he was married and he went there to buy some saris because, wife also needs some sari. Okay? So it was an excruciating experience. No. But then, a few years later, he took sannyas and he went to the same place in Calcutta with Vishnu Jan Swami to shop for Radha Damoda. So, and it was a complete different experience. Now, looking at, okay, this cloth could be nice, and this for the turban, and these earrings. It was a complete different experience. It was the same place, same shopkeepers, it did not change, but it was a complete different experience. So we become happy doing things in Krishna consciousness. I mean, practically speaking, we like to do book distribution. We like to go Harinam, unless we have a very heavy cold. Anyway, so we like to do things. This is the ruchi aspect. We like to chant Hare Krishna, and we like to read because there's books. Now we like to hear what Krishna says. Krishna says, I'm just opening 9:16. But it is I who am the ritual, the sacrifice, the offering to the ancestors, the healing herbs, the transcendental chant. I'm the butter and the fire and the offering. We start seeing Krishna everywhere. We don't see Krishna as some remote entity up there. We see Krishna everywhere. And we like to see Krishna everywhere. So that means advancing. So we become materially peaceful and spiritually stimulate. There is one sentence, I like it extremely, like Srila Prabhupada says at the end of Bhagavad Gita, Sanjaya says, this is verse 76, Sanjaya says, King Dhritarashtra, as I repeatedly recall this wondrous and holy dialogue between Krishna and Arjuna, I take pleasure being thrilled at every moment. So it's not just like a routine. Oh, okay, that was the Bhagavad Gita. We are almost finished. Okay, we can go for prasad. No, I take pleasure. And Srila Prabhupada say, this is your answer. The result of Krishna consciousness is that one becomes increasingly enlightened and he enjoys life with a thrill. It's thrill. It's almost shaking with excitement, not only for some time, but at every moment. You got some idea? I mean, of course, you knew already, but since you asked. So thank you very much. I hope you can all enjoy life with a thrill, not just for some time, but at every moment. Because if you like Krishna, Krishna is everywhere, so you can enjoy at every moment. Grantara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.